guys, welcome back. Quick video here on the CCHand headache rack. You'll see I have a lot of other accessories here. Check out my playlist if you want to see any install videos or reviews on a lot of the other CCHand parts like this roof rack and all the little scale accessories here. I'm going to have another video as well on my custom bed, which is wider. And the main purpose of this was to fit a crawler on here. The stock bed is just not wide enough. So I really love the look of all the CCHand parts. And this headache rack was, as far as I can tell, intended to work with their bed, which is a wood platform bed like this, but then the rest of it is all steel. However, the issue with the CCHand bed is just sizing. It's not as wide as this is in its current configuration. It's about as wide as the stock bed is, but it just doesn't have rails on it. So your tires will still stick over a little bit for any, average size crawler. And then that bed is also shorter. It ends kind of almost here. So what I don't like about it is that your wheels kind of stick over at every possible corner. So it just makes the scale of it look a little bit off. I like the way this looks better. And of course, this only cost me the price of this wood and then a couple ABS spacers and some longer screws. So I'm gonna have a video on that separately if you guys wanna see that. But right now I just wanna do a review of just the headache rack here. So really, really nice product here. Super heavy duty steel. It is heavy though. That's the one bad thing. This weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces, believe it or not, just for this headache rack, but it's super beefy. It bolts directly to the chassis with 2 screws down on either side. It does have this little opening compartment here. I'm gonna eventually wire up some switches in here so I can independently control a bunch of lights. I'll just have some little push button or little, I don't know, some type of a little switchboard in here. And I'll probably also keep my controller for my winch. At some point, it does have a nice winch mounting point here. Comes with a ladder, comes with lights. So it comes with these lights and the lenses, but not the actual LEDs. These are 3mm LEDs. The lenses are clear, so you could do whatever color you want and it will change the color of them. I just went with clear, figuring that it's more of a spotlight type of a light than anything, and I'll probably wire it up so they come on with these or independently. I don't know. Let's see how many switches I can fit in here. But yeah, it comes with a little ladder and the little grate here. It does have another opening door here, but unless you're using their bed, or unless you hack this whole front section off of either your stock bed or if you go with a wider bed like this. If you hack this off, then yes, you can open that because this door, pretty much goes down all the way to here. And it's intended to be a battery compartment. Like you could slide a full-size battery all the way in, run your wires up and through there, and then you could leave your cab on kind of permanently and not have to mess with it. But assuming you can get to your ESC switch. So I don't know, you would have to have it configured right for this to be super convenient because yeah, you could put the battery in there, but then if you have to take your cab off to get to the switch for your ESC, it kind of negates the purpose of that. So my plan with this, I didn't want to hack this off. I kind of like the way this looks finished and I was able to retain all the factory lights. I'm going to try to use this for a sound module. I'm going to slide an ESS dual sound module in here. According to the measurements, it should fit, and then I'll just double stick tape it or Velcro it down. And there are vents in the front of this. See, there are vents for, I guess, because it's a battery compartment. So the sound should travel out and it should travel out into the cab. So I think that will work pretty well. So we'll find out about that. It does come with these extra, or the new body mounts here. You don't reuse the stock ones. And aside from that, you still have full access to everything inside. You can run the battery in the stock configuration. You can remount your side steps, fuel tank, and boxes here. And yeah, you can reuse your entire stock bed. You will just have to notch it out here. If you're gonna do a wider bed of any material, yeah, you can do this. And I would recommend doing that if you're gonna mess around with cutting the bed and everything else. You can retain the whole stock top flatbed, just take it off. And you could use wood, you can use ABS plastic sheet, you could use an aluminum sheet. You know, there's a lot of options for this. You can use plastic or wood and then do a faux diamond plate. RC four-wheel drive makes a really nice 10 scale diamond plate that's actually real aluminum that you could put over this. So a lot of options with that, but I would recommend making it wider while you're at it and then just notch it out like this. And you'll see, I'll show you guys how to do that when I do the video on the bed. But for now, just wanted to show you guys this. I really like it. The only downside I could really possibly see is that it is heavy. Like I said, it adds a decent amount of weight. That's another reason I did not want to do the CCHand bed. This thing, like I mentioned, 1 pound, 13 ounces, their entire bed, which is awesome. I'll show a picture here. So that truck is what inspired me to do this whole build. I absolutely love the way that thing looks. It has slide out ramps. That bed is really killer, but it also weighs 55 ounces. That is 3.5 pounds. So 3.5 pounds, you're upwards of almost 6 pounds by the time you do the headache rack and the bed. And then especially if you get the bed with the little boxes, yeah, you're looking at 6 pounds. Add a 6 pound crawler to the back. It's a crazy amount of weight. I just don't know. So and then it is pretty pricey. So I think this came out great. I really like it. I love the headache rack. I think it looks great. And yeah, so let me show you guys how this gets installed. I do apologize. I had plans on taking a video exactly of how I move these forward mounts here, because under your bed you have these little L brackets, and I moved these back. They used to be mounted up forward here, but because of the headache rack, I had to move them back. So I just didn't show the portion where I drilled the hole through this little kind of like header, plastic header back here, but I do explain it. So hopefully you guys are able to figure it out. It's pretty simple stuff, and then you just have to drill an extra hole in the side of the bed here. But I'll get into all the install details. Just wanted to do a quick review on this, and you're gonna see a lot more of this whole thing completed out on the trail. And I'll go over a lot of the other mods, and I have some other stuff still on its way for this truck. So stay tuned, guys. But yeah, check out the install video on this, and thanks for watching. Okay, the CCHand headache rack install. Have everything disassembled here. You have to take out all these screws along your side rails, drop those down, take out all your screws holding your flat bed down. There's a whole bunch of them. They're just all the ones that go straight down. Easy enough. You need to remove your side fuel tank and storage box back here. Simple enough. Screws go, 4 screws here. 1 goes in from the side over into here. Get those out of the way. These supports here need to come off. So there's 1 screw that goes in from the bottom down into here, and then there's a screw that goes into the backside. Get both of those off of there. Cut the zip ties holding your wires. There's 1 here that holds this little group of wires, so you can pull that out. And then we're at this point. So now, because I'm retaining, I want to retain this stock bed and all the supports, I need to trim this, right? Because this is in the way. This headache rack installs with these 2 screws right here, and it's pretty much going to be directly in line with this. So I'm going to measure this, mark it, and cut this thing straight down. I'll probably just go right up to here. I want to leave as much as possible just for some additional bed support up front. And maybe I may even, yeah, I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to reattach this just as an additional bed support here. It may even work with, it looks like there's a screw right here that I might be able to use in the bottom there. So let me figure this out, and I'll show you what we end up with. So I trimmed this section back here. I'm going to try to reuse this hole for the additional, from the mount that was here, the support bracket. I'm going to try to reuse that. So I trimmed this for now. I don't know if that's going to be the exact location, but it seems pretty close. I'm going to fit the headache rack on and see if this works out. So I'm sorry, guys, but I thought I was recording when I mounted these. But let me just show you how I was able to move these forward supports, because these supports here used to be up front, but with the headache rack here, you have to move them back. So I started to show you how I trimmed this vertical kind of riser piece here, this plastic support. So I just, marked that and trimmed it. And then this brace here, there's a screw hole that this lines up with that I started to show you. So you just have to go up and drill another hole in this vertical riser plate here, because on the back side of these supports, you'll see there's a post that sticks out. So you just need to drill a hole large enough for that post to fit through, and just line it up with the center point of this screw. Just mark going straight up, and then measure how high that post is and drill a hole through this plastic support piece. And then you can mount this directly to the frame. No additional drilling holes or anything. You just use the one screw hole that lines up there. The only other thing you'll need to do is then, for me, this ended up being, I think about 89 millimeters from here back to the center of this. So I measured that and I marked this at the same height as this hole, and I drilled a hole here, and then this goes back into this original support piece that used to be up front here. So hopefully that all makes sense. You'll see here, these are the spacers I added. These are the 15 mil spacers, and they're just the same all the way down. The wiring, you can kind of just cut where side, you can just extend it a little bit and you'll be able to retain all the stock lighting. And then you can see here, for now, I just retained this front portion. Because we moved this support from the front here to this area, if you're gonna reuse this stock faux box here, you will need to trim it. There is a little notch here already cut. Just extend it back about to the point where that little cross piece is here, and then the same distance that it cuts out, and it'll fit back on there perfectly.